the biggest problem in this movement is, of course, censorship. Censorship is everywhere, and it is the most rampant on YouTube channels, Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, you name it, that are smaller. The bigger one gets, the more likely they're going to end up in a list of people that are to be censored, but the less likely the censorships are going to, well, the censors are going to get away with it. So when you're starting off small, especially in this position, the censors are going to be very, very massive because there is no audience to get the word out to. I am unsure what types of censorships are going to be put out on what I'm doing, but I guess we'll have to see. I created a manual. I released it a few days ago, and it deals with Facebook groups, and it has a giant list of Facebook groups, 323 Facebook groups to be exact, and it also deals with YouTube channels, and it has a list of 67 YouTube channels, and then it also deals with message boards, and it's just a very simple manual. Gives you an idea of places to go to write YouTube comments or make posts, to spread links on Facebook pages, and it tells you how to do it properly, how to do it the most effectively so you're not wasting your time. This manual is specifically designed in a way so that you can do everything inside that it says there individually, and you can spread literally anything you want that is right-wing. It's oriented towards spreading, of course, right-wing ideas. So what I suggest is you message my Facebook page, the New Nation of Canada, and if you want, I will add you into a Facebook group. Haven't created the Facebook group yet, so deal with that afterwards. And essentially what I want to do is I want to create a cohesive unit that spreads information. Not just my information, but if you have your own YouTube channel or your own Facebook page, then this is definitely the group to join. I'm not in some competition to try and outdo others. I'd much rather work together, and especially with other people who have Facebook pages and YouTube channels, and especially those people who are just starting out. Because if we can create a network of people who are just starting out, who are on the lower levels, then we can work together to build ourselves collectively. And what I'm doing here is essentially I'm taking the principles of the Great Meme War, and I'm reincorporating it into something that is long-lasting. So of course we all remember the massive raids that were done on certain YouTube channels and Facebook groups and Twitter and all that stuff, where we just, promoted Donald Trump like there was no tomorrow. Because, as we know, if Hillary would have went in, maybe there wouldn't have been. So, the point is, I want to recreate the cohesiveness of that message spreading, and rather than using it to just promote politics, which of course is the main objective, but to also promote ourselves. If we work together as a group, we have a much stronger chance at getting this done. So if you have a small YouTube channel or a small Facebook page, or a, relatively small Twitter following, or if you have a big one, join this, and it'll be very, very useful. but especially if you're starting off and your reach isn't that big, because the people who are doing the censorship, they get lists straight from the SPLC. There's entire articles that talk about this. They don't deny this. This isn't a secret. It's not even a secret. Everyone knows that the SPLC is the one that YouTube hired to go through YouTube and delete accounts and put ghost mechanisms where people's videos are there but they're not seen and all that kind of stuff. And of course, Facebook, we can assume, does the same thing. Everyone knows Facebook censors. It's still not fully confirmed who has been hired to do the censorship, but it's probably the SPLC, so it's pretty obvious. But what that means is that people get put on lists very, 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 very quickly, and when they do, they make sure that your stuff is just ghosted. So it's just like, it's there, but no one sees it. And if you have a small following, then you're in this weird little pickle where you can just pump out content like there's no tomorrow, but nothing is actually spreading very far. So I want to break this censorship, and I have a lot more manuals just like this one to come. This one is specifically designed to be used on an individual basis. You can work in groups, it obviously is much better, but I want to make something that anyone can just grab and start using right away. So if you message my Facebook page, the New Nation of Canada, and ask for the manual, I will give you the manual, and I can add you into the group that I'm going to create, and yeah, we can get started from there. Because if we don't do this, if we don't work together to break through the censorship, then we're going to get crushed as individuals. We have to work collectively. There's no other option. You know, you can want to do things on your own as much as you can, but this isn't 2007. This isn't a time where, you know, you can just make YouTube videos and promote them and everything's going to be fine. We live in a time where there are tens of thousands of people who are employed just to make sure that you don't get your message out there. And in order to counter an army of tens of thousands of people to make sure that we don't get our messages out there, we've got to build up a formidable force to counter that. And you'd be surprised, you'd be very surprised how much we can get done with just 10, 50, 100 people. I mean, during Donald Trump's campaign, there were raids where 500 people would have 100 YouTube accounts each, and they just go rampant on YouTube channels, making all kinds of pro-Donald Trump comments, or they'd have hundreds of Twitter accounts each, and they would literally like 500 people could make anything trend, just like that. And, you know, we were seeing this all the time. So this isn't something that is impossible to do, and I'd like to recreate that. Now, my manual doesn't touch Twitter. Twitter is not something I'm particularly an expert on by a long shot, but Facebook and YouTube are two platforms that I understand pretty well. We will be using alternative platforms too later on, because it's kind of like a gold mine, pretty much, because people who use alternative platforms have alternative viewpoints. They went there because they're being censored, and if they're being censored, it means they're saying something that the establishment doesn't like, and if they're saying something that the establishment doesn't like, then they're probably saying something that we like. And people who want to snub things like Gab or other social media sites that are alternatives simply don't understand that it's also useful to promote in the alternative sites, because the alternative sites have an audience of 99%, receptiveness, whereas Facebook or YouTube might only have, 30 or 40, perhaps 50% receptiveness. So you're more likely to build up an audience on alternative sites than mainstream sites. But what I've created here in this manual, of course, is a list of Facebook groups and YouTube channels that are conservative, libertarian, truth-oriented kind of stuff, and definitely places that are receptive to our message. So, once again, message my Facebook page, the New Nation of Canada, and ask to be put into the Facebook group which I am about to create. So there you go. Let's get this started.